All right, welcome back. 3:22 in the afternoon here. Rebecca Mansour from conservativeforpalin.com. Rebecca, welcome back to the program. I want to say this too. The other day when Representative Rammers was on the program, he wanted to make a big point that you were sleazy, your website was sleazy, and he said some other things about it. I just want to play this real quick. People, I think, hopefully they'll enjoy this a little bit.
Deeply offensive to me to have my integrity challenged by somebody who doesn't live here. Eddie, if you challenge my integrity as a pimp for Governor Palin, you can do it all day long.
As a pimp?
Listen to
Are you kidding me?
Disagree with you.
Representative Rammers, you just called me a pimp?
Big pimpin', baby.
The pimp for Governor Palin, 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 the pimp for Governor Palin.
Pimpin', sugar man, baby.
All right, that's it. That was the sketch. That's pretty funny stuff.
That's you, Eddie.
Yeah, the big pimp, and you're pretty slimy and sleazy just because you don't live here in the city or the state of Alaska. Somehow, what you're reporting. Now, he doesn't deny that he bought the stock and all. He just denies that
he's denying apparently. I don't. Apparently, where you live has something to do with my only answer is that the federal investigators weren't from Alaska either. But you know.
That's true. Well, let's further the narrative. So he votes for AGEA. And AGEA says there's going to be a bid. TransCanada wins the bid, and then he introduces legislation that would cancel TransCanada being the bid winner, the pipeline builder, and
undermines it. Yeah,
undermines it. And now let's move forward.
Yeah. So here's the question: when he introduced that, it was who benefits, and clearly, if TransCanada lost the license, the person that would benefit the most would be the Denali line, because the state doesn't want to have to go back to the drawing board and start accepting applications again. I mean, that would just be going back to square one. So, Denali has a time advantage on everybody with time, permits, all of that stuff. So they would clearly be the winner, okay? And their stock would go up and all of that stuff. And you don't have to wait till the actual pipeline is built in order to have short-term movement in stocks that would really benefit your position, your financial interest. So the real question in all of this is, can a public official buy a large quantity of stock, a stock position, in a corporation doing business with the state, and then use his state position to push legislation that would favor that same corporation? That's what was going on here.
Now, he used this as defense on the show, and he said, well, like most Americans, I lost a bunch of money on that deal, and because of the collapse of the financial markets and all. What's your response to that?
First off, he said that he was day trading. Now, day trading, by definition, happens in a day, okay? That's why it's called day trading. He was making a long-term investment here. He had made an excuse saying that he had heard that there was going to be a BP pipeline closed in Kazakhstan, and that's why he bought all these shares. Now, I consulted an economist friend and asked him, does this make sense to you? And he said, no, that doesn't make sense at all, because first off, if you were going on the information that a pipeline was going to be closed in Kazakhstan, wouldn't you sell short? You'd take a short position instead of going long, taking a long position like he did, buying all this stock, and you'd flip it right away. That stock the BP stock had increased within a 10-day period after he had purchased that. If it was just a short day trade, he could have flipped that stock and made got a profit off of it. Instead, he held on to it for months.
Right.
And he's claiming that the financial collapse in late September had something to do with it. That's ridiculous. He held on to that stock. It was a long purchase there.
Well, we're speaking with Rebecca Mansour from conservativeforpalin.com. Rebecca, if he wants to use, isn't that kind of weird that he wants to use that he lost money in the long run? That has nothing to be, and we all lost money. Whoever's in the stock market lost it during the big collapse. That has nothing to do with about his original intentions. I mean, how does a loss that everybody else lost money, how does that time zone have anything to do with his original intentions? And that was to make money. Now, if you want to allege that he was pushing legislation in order to increase that stock, then you'll go along with this narrative. But to use that, it just seems, I don't know. Like, well, I lost money ultimately. Well, that doesn't matter. What matters is what you were doing.
Exactly, and it's the Legislative Ethics Act is very unique in the sense that it has this sort of clause. To me, I call it the smell test clause. If it smells bad, and that clause says if even the appearance of impropriety is an ethics issue, even the appearance. Now, what happened on Monday after this story broke is Jay Ramross went out and purchased 5,000 shares of TransCanada stock that came to about $135,000. Okay?
Yeah.
And he said that was because he wanted to avoid the appearance of impropriety, so he's going to purchase TransCanada stock now, too. That basically said, one, that he's admitting right then and there that there was an appearance of impropriety before with having all of that BP stock. And two, it doesn't solve anything because now instead of having only one conflict of interest, he has two conflicts of interest with two businesses, two major corporations that have business with the state. That, by definition, is a conflict of interest. That is against, you're not supposed to use your public office for personal gain.
You
should not be in the game with these companies at all.
You create a narrative that is comparable to Rinkus within the Murkowski administration. We've got to take a bottom of the hour break here, and I want to come back with you and discuss that comparison. Rinkus got in some trouble as Attorney General with his stock, and I want you to paint that picture for us. So we'll be right back with Rebecca Mansour right after the break.